Hello, my lovely people. So this is the episode 3. The other one, I haven't finished it. But I think I will continue the thread of complimenting Canada and Canadians throughout the following episodes. But in my mind and in my heart, I feel there is importance of speaking about my beloved pillow. This is just speaking about more important aspects of my life that my life has been for the last almost 11 months. By the way, I tried to bring my child into the picture, but he's more interested in discovering and taking over our home. So perhaps next time. So I want to speak to you about a few points, sort of general core points I focused on while going through the last 10, nearly 11 months with my baby boy. So I realized that one thing that we have all already probably heard as women many times, and that is to be focused, to be patient, and to be assertive. And I'm not the first one, neither I will be the last one who mentions these as important aspects of every woman's life. However, what I realized, and this has nothing to do with living here in this country, but I deeply believe it has to do with general female experience. These words are not facts by which people want us to live by. I feel strongly that assertiveness, especially assertiveness, and that goal-oriented attitude is still reserved for men, more so than for females, and or for people who present more female qualities, sort of. Because I don't believe we live in times any longer in which there are only two clearly defined genders. And thank God we can speak about it openly. But that's by the way. Being rather, by nature, being rather bold and open person, the one that always chases the truth, the core truth within myself. Hello, my beautiful people. This is part 2 of the episode 3, which is about how to survive single motherhood as an immigrant and still stay positive. So, first of all, I apologize for the delivery of broken videos. It has very much to do with the fact that I'm still learning how to technically manage YouTube, and I will be expanding my sort of technical electronic devices to produce better videos with time. So I appreciate your understanding and patience in that manner. So in the first part, I started talking about a couple points, and I mentioned assertiveness and I mentioned patience. So in terms of assertiveness, we are taught these days, in this postmodern sort of cultural setting, we are taught that women should be as assertive as men. And we hear that at school, we hear that even at homes more and more often. But then at the same time, when we go out to the world, that assertiveness in the manner that it's provided by men, it still very much gets met with disapproval from the society, from the communities we live within. How to manage this assertiveness has always been my question, and use it to my favor. without being completely dismissed by the community I function within. I've been learning a lot about picking my battles, and I've been learning a lot about not mixing assertiveness with anger. In fact, I always try to, these days, to diffuse my anger rather than explore it too much, because I feel that only escalates anger. But to bring it back to the practical examples, when you go out to the either non-profit organizations or governmental organizations, companies, where you're trying to deal with circumstances that, for example, and this is very important, can be made easier for you in the financial manner. I think that is one of the most basic aspects to try to ease financial burden for mothers with children, because motherhood costs, and that's where we want to direct those money towards our child, and as comfortable living as possible we can deliver for the child. So when you go out to the clerks, officers, case managers, you will hear a lot about being patient, that it takes time. You might feel that you're receiving almost indifferent treatment. So 2 things. First one, if you feel that you and your case manager or social worker you guys don't sort of mesh in terms of dynamic of your personalities, in terms of her true empathy, she doesn't deliver true empathy to you, or perhaps she's unstable in this delivery, I would suggest attempting to change that social worker. Southern Ontario and Toronto, and also GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, provide a range of organizations that their sole purpose is to help mothers, single mothers, immigrant mothers. Now, what's amazing in Canada is that, and I believe in North America as a whole, is that people who perform certain job, they really very much so define themselves by that job. They truly embrace their profession and try to perform to the highest standard. So that's great, because this provides some stability and reliability. What I'm talking about is lack of understanding and that infantilization, which I mentioned in episode 1, for immigrant people, right? So we don't receive as much as we are entitled to. And I'm talking not about being entitled beyond any standards. I'm talking to being entitled just within the standards that are supposed to be provided to us, just like any other residents here. So the other point I mentioned seems like the opposite of that assertiveness, and that is patience. Things do take time. At the same time, nothing is just one or another. I think things in life are generally carry several different aspects and sides about themselves. So it's good to come across patient and understanding for the quantity of cases the officers, governmental officers, and non-profit organizations, officers or counselors deal with. So I also I mentioned patience. That seems to be sort of the opposite of assertiveness to a certain extent, because when arguments are used, kind of imposed being somewhat impatient. But I just want to say that the whole experience of motherhood is learning me a patient love, patient loving for my son, for my son's growing and developing process, bigger patience for myself, and through that patience recognition of my needs, because I truly believe happy mother guarantees a happy child. The children literally feel our truest emotions in the moment, and they react to them in the most natural and organic way. So I mean that type of patience that spreads around your household. But also, I've learned biggest patience for people. Sort of deeper understanding of people through that patience, and it was very precious discovery for me. That's all for now. I will be continuing these episodes, hopefully once a week. Once again, I'm kindly asking for subscription, because this conversation only makes sense if you guys join me in it. Like or dislike the videos, comment on them. I'm open for comments so much. And I'll see you next time. Good night.